Welcome back to the garage, ladies and gents, and thanks so much for joining us. Well, we're finally getting down to the last bits on this old Sportster. We're actually getting mighty close to firing this bike off. I think what we're going to do in this video, we're going to start off with a few small things we didn't get last time, and from there, maybe jump into the exhaust. So let's just get busy and see what all we can get done. I'll get some of these smaller pieces on, but I guess they're necessary. Are my holes even lining up? There's one of them. Stuff that should be easy, right? What is the problem? Why is this not lining up? Oh boy. Nothing is easy, is it? Well, that was going in. It's behaving. I'll finally hook this thing up. This thing's been hanging off of here for quite a while. Of course, I still need to bleed the brakes because they weren't even, actually this thing had no fluid in it really, and they weren't even pumped up, obviously. Oh yeah, it's going to go back right where it's supposed to. There we are. Just like magic, like it should. I completely forgot that I need a cotter pin for this down here. I also need one for the rear axle, so maybe I should go get some of those because I would hate for somebody to lose their brakes down here. Hopefully I'll remember. These pegs we got here actually came with the bike when we got it. It was one of the nicest things on it. I don't know what you guys think about it, but I like these fatter pegs like this. I think they give you a lot more surface area for your boot, but they're also not bulky looking. I just like them. And I think they look pretty good here on these mid controls as well. But just my opinion on the matter. This shifter here, I'm pretty sure this is for a Dyna or an FXR. I do not think it's for a Sportster, but that's what's going on it. I also forgot to get me some O-rings here for this little shifter peg. You always remember the things that you were supposed to get when you start putting it back together. Well, we haven't touched the exhaust pipes on this bike since we removed them a while back, but they're going back on. There's some spots on them. You've got a lot of scratches and a lot of marks, but we'll get some chrome polish on them and try to bring those around. On this front pipe right here where it kind of mounts down below the engine, there's a tab that goes up. We didn't have it on this bike. So it was just literally hanging there. I'm not going to bother going and buying one. I've got some 1/4 inch steel. We should be able to make something easy enough. So mounting the pipe should not be a problem, but my bigger concern is up here. Now, yeah, the pipes, overall, I've got some marks on them. We'll get some polish on them, but I'm just not liking this discoloration difference, and I'm pretty sure this is because of a real nasty intake leak that we had when we pulled that carburetor off of this bike. Now, I did look at heat shields. I've researched to check prices, and I could get some, but I just don't want to throw any money at these pipes just because of how they look. So here's the idea that I got. So I know everybody's probably about sick and tired of pipe wrap on this channel, and so what I've got is this is some leftover sections from some other bikes. I got these 2 different colors here. I actually prefer this stuff right here. This is more of like a, I don't know what you call this color. It's almost like a titanium something or another. But there's 2 different sections in here and 2 different sections in here. When you buy this stuff, it's in rolls of about 25 feet. You wrap your pipes and you got this excess left over. So my thought is just to give it a shot, see what it looks like. Maybe start from here and do a mock-up, or maybe on this one. just to see if it'll cover it, to see what it looks like, and most importantly, do we even have enough to do it? So let's mock it up and see what we got. Get this attached about here to start mocking it up. I have a sneaky feeling that we do not have enough wrap to do this, but I at least want to give it a try because I just hate for stuff to sit here in the garage and not get used if I could use it somewhere. And if you've never done pipe wrap before, you can see I've got gloves on. I never wear gloves, but when you do this, wear gloves. This stuff can get pretty nasty. It also helps to get water on it. I didn't do that last time in the other videos, but it really helps to keep so much stuff from coming off. Well, that's a start. So let me try to wrap this up, and I'll be right back with you guys, and we'll see what it looks like. Well, the first section fit on the rear pipe. Let's see how this one does. This section of wrap is actually a little shorter, but this pipe section is also shorter, what we're covering. So this might actually work. There she goes. Well, I stand corrected. We barely had enough wrap. This side right here, we had a pretty decent bit. This one was getting pretty close to being out. Let's hold these up to the bike and see what they look like. Here's a look at our front pipe. It's kind of mocked up. Make sure we got clearance back there, and we do. I don't know. I kind of like that. I think that'll work. And the actual chrome part of the pipe is kind of, it's kind of hidden down here, so the imperfections won't be shown as much. And like I said, we'll get some good chrome polish on those. And there's a look at the rear pipe. Kind of harder to mock this one up, but same thing. I think we're going to be good. And again, this section back here, like I said, there's some imperfections, but once we get the polish on it, and they're kind of down there on the bottom, I think that'll work. So let's just get them wrapped up for good and get these things mounted. So I'm going to get these things rewrapped off camera real quick. I need to do that because, I didn't get them tight enough since it's just a quick mock-up. And also, I'm actually going to use water on them this time whenever I wrap them. The water is supposed to, at least what I read, is supposed to help with this stuff kind of laying down better and stretching, as well as limiting the amount of fiberglass that comes off whenever you do it. But man, there were some people, I don't know if it was the last 89 Softail or a bike before that, they did not like the fact that I did not use water on the wrap at all. I guess if you don't use water on them, your bike might spontaneously explode. But we're going to get that done, and when we get back, we're going to check to see what kind of mounting tabs we need to make to get these pipes mounted up. Looking at this master cylinder right here is a reminder that I need to bleed those brakes. And I'm just, not looking forward to it. Not a fan of bleeding brakes. And we'll get this guy on here at least loosely for now. We'll figure out how what we're gonna have to do for our little mount tab up here. These pipes go on good though. I do think these pipes, I don't know who made these pipes, but just based on their finish quality and how they mount up, I think they're actually pretty good quality. Why are these not starting? They came off. Man. Got to be complicated, doesn't it? Take 897. You would think I would know what I was doing with this, but Come on, get on there. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, not sure how you guys can see all this, but here's your mount point for these Sportsters, which most of y'all probably already know. Right here, it's about, I think it's roughly a 1/2 inch bolt. And all we need is just a piece of steel to go straight down and mount right there. Now, I've got some of those funky fasteners that go in here. I've got some, left over, fortunately, so it'll fit in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of steel. This is something I had left over from that Softail project. Make sure I bang it on everything when I do this. And all I need to do is go straight down. So I'm going to open up the hole right there to mount on that. Once I get that drilled out, Then we'll just kind of line up where we need to cut down here and drill, and it should be fine. But it'll just be basically just a vertical bracket that goes straight down. And this thing's got kind of a goofy shape, but this is 1/4 inch steel, which is overkill for this. So it'll be plenty strong. I already changed my mind. I forgot I had this stuff laying around. This is a little thinner than that 1/4 inch, but it's still plenty thick. And it also gives me this opening right here I might have to open that up just a little bit to mount on the bike itself, but it'll be a lot easier to work with than that 1/4 inch stuff. So all I'm going to do now, I'm just going to cut right down through here and cut here just as a starting point. Probably have to shorten this up a little bit once I get it on the bike and get it all lined up, but it'll be a good start. Not too bad. Even I gotta admit that looks good. Especially for something that'll be hidden. Get off of there. Whoops. Gotta get a little creative. Here's our handy little bracket. Now, she's not perfectly straight, but it's good enough for this purpose because it's going to be hidden anyway. But it is going to go just like this. There we go. Mount it up on that bolt. I hope you guys can see it. That'll be nice and solid. And then what I will do is I will probably sit here for about 80 hours and measure about 800 times, you know, the level of the pipe. You know, I want to make sure it's parallel, like how far up I need to go with it to give me an idea where to drill. And then what I'll do probably when I do this hole down here that mounts on the pipe, I'm probably going to make it a little bit bigger than normal, bigger than the bolt, maybe even oblong it a little bit, if that's the right terminology to use. That way I've got a little adjustability on the pipe since this is not factory. Well, I think that's going to work. And our exhaust looks pretty level on there. You see our little bracket up in there. It's not tightened down just yet. And see how this exhaust is moving freely like this? I mean, it's tightened up at the heads just a little bit, but nothing's binding, nothing's tweaking. That's exactly what you want before you start to tighten it down. Of course, we're going to take this thing to a whole new level now. Just like factory. Basically brand new. Get on the studs, please. Pipes are installed. Well, the hits just keep slapping me in the face on this old bike. So I spent maybe 2 to 3 hours last night trying to bleed this guy out the rear brakes. No luck. No luck at all. I tried every technique and method in the book that you can do to bleed it out. And what I think the problem is, I kept seeing a lot of bubbles in the master cylinder. I think it just needs a rebuild kit, to be honest. If you remember on this old bike, when we got it, it was absolutely dry, and there's no telling how long it had been dry for. O-rings are probably bad. So we'll throw a new rebuild kit in there. I don't know, honestly, if I'm going to film it. I also don't even know if I'm going to get it done before we go to test on it, going down the road. But rest assured, it's going to get done. Well, let's move on to some more fun stuff here and get this gas tank on. But first, we'll just kind of check it out a little bit. I mean, I'm really, really digging it. I think it's going to be the best looking thing on the bike. So the process we did on this, well, not we, what my buddy did on painting it. First of all, there is no body work. There is no filler. You're going to see some lines in there. You're going to see some odd spots, because these tanks, even brand new from the factory, could have some spots on them. But he did multiple coats of primer, followed by the black, of course. And then I threw the decal on, I think it was a few videos ago. And then, of course, he followed that up with multiple coats of clear. And just kind of shows, if you're just the kind of person, the guy or gal that goes out there with the rattle can and just going to hit the tanks, you can do that. I can dig that. This kind of shows if you put just a little effort into it and very little money, you can come out looking pretty good. Let's throw this thing on and see how it looks on the bike. Of course, we got to get a little switch situated down here. Got a few extra things. Well, one extra thing on this tank we have to deal with. Now, I know it fits. What is my problem? All right. Yeah, our little switch idea too is going to work. It's going to work pretty good. Well, I hope I can get this rag out. Trying to protect it. Now I got a problem. Oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. There she is. Oh, that's good. That's not supposed to happen. There she is. All right. I think everything's sitting about the way it's supposed to. Now we'll just start, I guess, just tightening everything down, making sure we're in good shape. Boy, sometimes getting these coils with the tank and with your spacers or whatever else you got, it takes some serious redneck gymnastics to make this happen. Boy, somebody's got a skid steer or an excavator or something that's just, I think it's just stuck in reverse, you know what I mean? It's just been beeping all morning. But probably not even moving anywhere, but at least they're being safe, right? You can hear it beeping 3 miles away. Yeah, this is my problem here. Don't answer that. Oh, there's my problem. All right, I think we got it. Did we? We did. I think we can just cinch her on down a little bit. Always love putting this simple stuff on in the end. Makes you feel like like you accomplished something. Just a few more things here. We're going to have this tank all done. And this one, I think I'm going to route, I don't know where they route from the factory, but I think I'm going to go through the frame here where this mount is, where this motor mount mounts up. Yes, that's going to go. And I'm so glad with this camera angle, and many like it, that you guys the world over can see my bald spot. It's wonderful. But I don't like hats, so I guess we're both going to just have to deal with it. There we are. And that tucks up under there nicely. I think that looks pretty good. And swap these guys out here. Oh, you know what? There's probably, I might have a little gas in here from where I tested on it. Where is my freaking rag? There it is. I'm going to just try to limit the craziness here. No, we're in good shape. Good. And of course our replacement is just, you know, the best money can buy on Amazon, right? If you got yourself a really nice project and you're doing some motor work or you're just putting a lot into the bike, put like a Pingle on here. Don't go with these don't go with these Amazon ones. I'm doing it because I'm being cheap, but last thing you want is, well, this ain't even, what is the problem here? Last thing you want is a fuel problem that you have to chase, can't even talk, simply because you were being cheap like I am. I really need to get a wrench that fits these things. This dumb adjustable wrench. All right, I think that'll do it. Not sure how sold I am on this fuel line here that I'm literally about to put on the bike. I got this stuff from Parts Giant. Where do I want to go with that? That'll work. And usually they got pretty good stuff. I get gasket kits from them, engine gasket kits, and they got good name brands like Cometic. That's what I run. They got good shipping, good return policy, but this stuff's rated for fuel. It just seems flimsy, and I went back and triple checked it, but I got like 25 dang feet of it, so I'm gonna run it. We'll add that to the list of things to tell a potential owner, like, keep your eye on the fuel line, by the way. I think it'll be good though. I ran a little bit on that soft tail and it seemed to be fine. I will put something over it to protect it though. You do want to do that. You don't want the motor burning through it or hurting anything or causing any problems. I was able to get a piece of, I think it's 1/2-inch hose over this line to help protect it. There's not much space in here though. But this will pretty much do it for the gas tank. And of course we have to get a closer look at this gas tank. I do like this transition here from the tank to the frame. I was on the fence about doing some spray painting here on the frame itself, and I know it's rattle can, but man, that looks so much nicer. And then right here is our main, I guess you'll call it our main wire harness coming to the back. That is it. That's all we've got on the bike. That's a nice clean look. Of course, our little kill switch here, looking pretty nice under the tank. You can see me in the tank. That means it must be nice and shiny. And then over here where it's mounted to the front, we just have our coil wires right here, as well as our one throttle cable coming out. And then on this side, we've just got our one little thing of wires, I guess we'll call it, coming out right up through here. Of course, this is the one going down to the oil pressure switch. But that's it. That's it, going down the backbone for wiring. And of course, it's really hard to beat just the good old basic standard chrome style gas caps. So the paintwork on our fenders is the same as the tank. We use the same process. The only difference, of course, is this stuff is old, and it's still got its share of dings and dents. I'm probably going to get some other dents if I don't pay attention here at what's going on. There we are. Oh, I got to go forward. I'm way off. There it is. I can't remember which mount hole we need to go through here. I think that'll, ooh, that's wanting to come off on me there. We did what we could on this fender though, considering how this bike is, you know, how it started out. I think it's pretty good. I would like to have replaced all this back here and done something different, but you know, it's just more money, right? But the good news is you can put a shine on it. Oh, I didn't think about getting to the bottom of this bolt. Whoops. That's going to be a challenge. Well, this has escalated rather quickly. I can't get to the bottom of this bolt right here, so disconnected both shocks. Let's see if we can just lower this down on the jack. See if my genius is going to work. I mean, it should, right? There it goes. It's a moving. I bet I can get to it now. Let's see. Yeah, let's give ourselves a little more room. Why not? Make it look like a motocross bike back here. There, that. Whoa! I just heard something that wasn't happy. All right, I think we're all good. We'll stop right there. Oh yeah, there we go. Well, probably could have cut this fender down on the end a little bit. The end's down here to give us some space, but it's fine. Well, if I had the ratchet going in the right flipping direction, you know, that helps. Let's see if this will go back up as easy as it came down. Make sure I don't mess anything up. There it is. Alrighty. We'll get this tightened back down, both these shocks, and then we'll move on to that front fender, and we'll almost have us a complete bike. Well, I'm glad we're able to get some more life out of this fender, though. It's in pretty rough shape. It had some rust spots on it and some other bad spots and a few dings here and there, but I think it's going to look pretty good. And if you didn't see one of the earlier episodes on this, we actually straightened this fender by just putting it in the vise, because these things are known to get just, a little crooked. Doesn't take much. You can usually just pop them in the vise and straighten them out. Almost forgot about our little side cover here. I actually had to pick this one up on eBay, because naturally it didn't have one on the bike. And then also, I was missing one of the little, the rubber grommet things that holds these on normally. But what you can do, which is what I'm going to do to this one, but you got to have a washer that's big enough to go in the back to keep the nuts from coming out. You can just bolt these on, because in this case, there's nothing behind here that I need to get to, because there's no ignition module behind here. It's not the easiest, but it'll work. It'll save you a few bucks. You just got to get creative how you get to everything. Of course, right when I say that, I got to get this battery tray out of the way just a little to get to this one. That's what I get for saying how easy this is. But if you're going to have to get to this behind this cover a lot, this may not be a good idea. But it is a way, especially if you've got one that keeps wanting to fall off, because these rubber pieces, they wear out. And I got this cover, I think, for like maybe 12 bucks, and it didn't come with anything else to mount it. So this is what we're going to do. The next person that works on this is going to be like, what in the freaking world happened? So sorry, future people. I have to work on that. But that's now on there. It's not going to go anywhere, and we have nothing behind it. Well, guys, we are going to wrap here, but let's take a little look at this. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Look how that black is shining. I am really glad we started doing clear coat on these tanks and fenders. That really makes a difference, even though it's rattle can. For a front fender here, combined with the fork sliders polished and that wheel cleaned up, man, that front end just looks really nice now. One thing that's irritating, though, is you can see the fender's crooked. I put that dang fender in the vise, straightened it with channel locks. I don't know what happened. I guess it had fender memory and it went back to where it was. But I think really what it was is when I tested on it after straightening it, I didn't tighten it down enough. And then whenever I clamped these down, I think it just pulled it. So, lesson for the future, right? Our fender back here is shining nice. It's got some spots on it, like I said before. It's doing the job. And then some fresh hardware here. This is why I like to save stuff off of bikes when I pull them off. That's from a newer model bike. It looks really good on there. It's going to look good. So next up, there's really not a whole lot left to do. We got to get our fluids in the bike, which, that's not exciting. Got to get our battery. Also got to get my little battery hold down, strap or clamp and top piece. I completely forgot about that. So if I don't have that in time, I can always, just zip tie or something. And of course, I got to work on our rear brake some. And I think I'm going to try to work on the rear brake tomorrow, and I might show you guys a little bit of that. But other than that stuff, there's only one thing left to do. We have got to test on it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and like I just said, we only got one thing left to do on this bike. We got to test on it and see how it's going to do and wrap this project up. But not to worry, we got another old Evo here lurking in the garage that we're going to start on next. So if you want to catch those future videos, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. As always, I thank you guys so much for watching. We'll chat with you next time.